Today, we're diving into the fascinating concept of karma and its results. We'll unravel how our intentions shape our actions and how those actions ripple through our lives, creating the experiences we encounter. So, let's journey together into this profound topic and uncover the true essence of karma. Let's dive into karma and 5 important principles in Buddhism. All beings have their own karma. Karma is the law of cause and effect in the moral and spiritual realm. Rebirth naturally follows from karma. These two concepts are fundamental in Buddhism and are closely connected. Even before the Buddha's time, karma and rebirth were well known in India. However, it was the Buddha who gave detailed explanations and profound teachings on these topics, which have been preserved to this day. Why is there such a difference among people? How do we explain the apparent injustices in the world? Why are some people born into wealth and health, while others face poverty and suffering? Why is one person rich and another poor? Why is one person smart while another is not? Why are some people kind and others aggressive from birth? Why are some children talented in various fields while others have physical or mental disabilities? Are there specific reasons for these differences, or are they random? Wise people do not believe in blind luck or randomness. They understand that nothing happens without a cause. The joys and sorrows people experience are the results of their actions, either in this life or past lives. However, it is difficult to understand the complex and invisible causes behind these results, because they may have been created over many lifetimes. Buddhism teaches that there are enlightened beings who can see what ordinary people cannot. Some belief systems say that a creator decides everything, but the Buddha did not believe in an all-knowing, all-powerful creator who made the universe. How do modern scientists explain human differences? Scientists say that human differences are due to physical and chemical causes, tradition, and environment. Famous physiologist Julian Huxley explained that a human begins as a tiny unit called a gene, which determines many traits such as body color, height, weight, reproductive ability, lifespan, and health. However, mental traits are more complex and harder to prove as inherited. Physical and chemical explanations cover part of the problem, but they don't fully explain why people are so different. For example, identical twins inherit the same genes and grow up in the same environment, but often have different personalities and intelligence levels. This suggests that inheritance alone cannot explain these differences. Dr. Thérèse Pascal, in his book Reincarnation, stated that while genetic inheritance explains physical traits, it does not account for intellectual and moral differences. If inheritance fully explains a person, we would expect children to always resemble their parents. But this is not the case, especially with prodigies and great teachers who do not always have equally gifted ancestors. In everyday life, we see that not all traits are passed down from parents to children. Many kind families have children who behave badly, and vice versa. This challenges the idea that genetics alone determines our traits. The Buddhist perspective. Buddhism recognizes the influence of heredity and environment, but adds the concept of karma. Karma is the sum of our past and present actions. We are responsible for our actions and must face the results, whether they bring happiness or suffering. We create our own heaven and hell and shape our future through our actions. Now we learn the cause of disparities. During the Buddha's time, a young man named Suda was puzzled by the inequalities among people. He asked the Buddha, "Blessed One, why are some people short-lived while others live long lives? Why are some sickly while others healthy? Some ugly while others beautiful? Some powerless while others influential? Some poor while others rich? Some born into lowly families while others into noble families? Some foolish while others wise?" The Buddha replied briefly, "All beings inherit their karma. Their actions are their kin and their refuge. It is due to their different karma that beings are born unequal." Then the Buddha explained each case to Sutta. If a person kills living beings, like a hunter with blood-stained hands who lives without compassion, upon rebirth they will have a short life. If a person refrains from killing, lives away from weapons, and treats all beings with kindness, upon rebirth they will have a long life. If a person is cruel, always seeking to harm others, using fists and weapons against others, upon rebirth they will be sickly. If a person does not harm others and is kind and gentle, upon rebirth they will be healthy. If a person is rude, always angry, insulting and cursing others, upon rebirth they will be ugly. If a person is refined and courteous, never retaliating even when insulted, upon rebirth they will be beautiful. If a person is envious, always coveting the wealth and fame of others, and does not respect the honorable, upon rebirth they will be powerless, their words unheeded. If a person is not envious, does not covet others' wealth and fame, and respects the honorable, upon rebirth they will be influential, and their words will follow. If a person is stingy, never giving to others, and clings to their possessions, upon rebirth they will be poor. If a person is generous and loves to give, upon rebirth they will be wealthy. If a person is arrogant and does not respect the honorable, upon rebirth they will be lowly. If a person is humble and respects the honorable, upon rebirth they will be noble. If a person does not seek the company of the wise to learn and discern right from wrong, upon rebirth they will be foolish. If a person seeks the company of the wise to learn and discern, upon rebirth they will be intelligent. In the cycle of rebirth, people are more influenced by their past karma than by heredity. For example, the Buddha was born through the sperm and egg and genetic inheritance of his parents, like all beings. Yet physically and spiritually, none in his lineage could compare to him. The Buddha once taught that he did not belong to the lineage of kings, but to the lineage of Buddhas, making him a unique being. He was born with extraordinary karma that he had accumulated over countless lifetimes. According to the Lakkhana Sutta, the Buddha was born with 32 extraordinary marks due to the vast merits he had accumulated in countless past lives. The Lakkhana Sutta explains in detail each good mark of the Buddha and the specific cause that produced it. The unique case of the Buddha proves that the power of karma not only influences the body, but also surpasses and diminishes the effect of genetic inheritance. Thus he taught, "I am the heir to my deeds, my actions are my heritage." Regarding the differences among beings, the Athasalini states, "Due to the different karma of each being, there are disparities in rebirth. Some are born noble, some lowly. Some are born into contempt, others into respect. Some are happy from birth, others suffer. Due to the different karma of each being, there are disparities in appearance. Some are beautiful, others ugly. Some tall, others short. Some handsome, others deformed. Due to the different karma of each being, there are disparities in society, success or failure, fame or infamy, praise or blame, happiness or suffering. Karma drives the world. Karma sustains beings. And through karma, beings are bound, connected like a wheel, assembled, clinging and revolving around the hub. Karma brings beings to honor. Karma brings beings to servitude, to oppression and downfall. Knowing that karma bears fruit, why believe that in this life there is no karma? In summary, according to Buddhism, disparities in spiritual, moral, intellectual, and innate qualities largely depend on our past and present actions, which is karma. Now further, not everything is due to karma. While Buddhism teaches that different karma is the main cause of disparities in life, it does not claim that everything is due to karma. Karma is not the sole cause of differences among beings. The law of karma is just one of the 24 conditions in Buddhist philosophy. To correct the misconception that all outcomes arise from past actions, the Buddha taught, if one insists that it is due to past actions that a person becomes a murderer, thief, adulterer, liar, rude, frivolous, greedy, deceitful, or wretched, then one has a basis to rely on the past and not strive to perform or avoid certain actions, whether they are worth doing or not. This passage corrects the misunderstanding that all occurrences in the mental and physical realms are due to past karma. If present life were entirely governed by past actions or karma, the law of karma would be nothing more than fatalism or predestination. No one would have the freedom to improve their lives in the present or future, and free will would be an illusion. Life would be entirely automatic, and humans would be no different from machines. Believing that we are born by the decree of an omnipotent creator who predetermines our fate, or believing that karma determines our fate and governs our lives, what is the difference? The difference is only in terminology. Such fatalism is not the law of karma in Buddhism, the 5 niyama, laws. According to Buddhism, there are 5 laws or processes, niyama, that operate in the physical and mental realms. These are utu niyama, the physical law related to the processes of inorganic matter, such as weather phenomena, rain, wind, heat, cold, the 4 seasons, and the characteristics of each season like summer's heat and winter's cold. Bija niyama, the physical law related to the processes of organic matter, such as plant life. This law explains why a seed produces its specific plant, rice from rice seeds, orange trees from orange seeds, sweetness from sugarcane and honey, etc. Scientific theories about cells and genetic inheritance in conception are also governed by this law. The physical resemblance of twins is explained by this law. Kamma niyama. The law of cause and effect, or the progression from actions, whether good or bad, to their outcomes, either pleasant or unpleasant. Good deeds bring good results. Bad deeds bring bad results. This natural law dictates that the effect must arise from its cause, not as a form of reward or punishment. The progression from cause to effect is as natural and necessary as the moon's orbit around the Earth. This principle of cause and effect is the essence of the law of karma. The principle of cause and effect is continuous. A scientist who accumulates knowledge and experience in life upon death and rebirth carries that knowledge and experience to the next life. Sometimes we vaguely remember past life experiences and knowledge, but often we forget, just as we forget some childhood experiences and knowledge in this same life. This principle explains prodigies in music, art, history, linguistics, etc., who, without prior learning, exhibit extraordinary talents. Dhamma niyama, the law of nature, including phenomena that occur when a bodhisattva is born into his final life, the law of gravity, and other natural laws of the universe. Citta niyama, the psychological law governing mental processes, mental formations, and mental powers, such as telepathy, knowledge of past and future, clairvoyance, clairaudience, mind reading, and other phenomena that modern science has yet to explain. These 5 natural laws explain all psychological and physical phenomena. Karma is just one of these 5 laws. Like all universal laws, these 5 processes operate independently without the need for a supernatural force. The laws governing physical processes, both inorganic and organic, as well as the law of nature, Dhamma niyama, are relatively automatic, although human intelligence can control them to some extent. For example, fire burns and cold freezes, but some can walk on fire without burning or sit naked in the snow without harm. Skilled gardeners can create beautiful out-of-season gardens, and yogis can use mystical powers to levitate heavy objects. The laws governing mental processes operate as naturally and mechanically as other laws. When a cause is established, the effect must follow due to karma. Buddhist practice aims to control the mind, achievable through right understanding and pure thought. The law of cause and effect operates mechanically. When karma is too heavy, it is impossible to alter its severe consequences. However, the right view and pure intention can partially mitigate karma's effects. To some extent, good karma can alleviate bad karma. The law of cause and effect is complex, understood fully only by the Buddha. The ultimate goal for a Buddhist is to eradicate karma. Now next, what is karma? Intention is karma. Karma, according to its proper meaning, is action or deed. The ultimate definition of karma is intention, cetana. Thoughts, words, and deeds often arise from the intention to act, which creates motivation. Buddhism calls this intention to act cetana. All intentional actions, whether expressed through body, speech, or mind, create karma. All intentional actions, whether good or bad, create karma. Actions that are not intentional, even if expressed through words or deeds, do not create karma. The Buddha said, "Monks, I declare that intention is karma. Having the intention to act leads to action through body, speech, or mind." Except for the actions of the Buddhas and Arahants, every intentional action is called karma. Although the Buddhas and Arahants are still influenced by past actions, they no longer create new karma because they have transcended both good and evil, having eradicated ignorance and craving, the two sources of karma. The Ratana Sutta, the Jewel Discourse, states, "The seed is destroyed. Selfish desires no longer arise." This does not mean that the Buddhas and Arahants live passively. They continuously engage in activities that promote the well-being and happiness of sentient beings. Their actions, often considered virtuous, do not have the power to create karma. Understanding the true nature of all phenomena, they break all the bonds, fetters, that bind beings in the cycle of rebirth, the long chain of cause and effect. Some belief systems also recognize that all societal differences are due to karma, but when they refer to karma, they claim that all actions, intentional or not, create karma. According to this view, a person who kills their parents, whether intentionally or accidentally, commits the same grave sin. Just as with fire, whether one accidentally or intentionally puts their hand into the fire, one must be burned the same way, no more, no less. Such reasoning naturally leads to an illogical conclusion. A fetus causing pain to its mother unintentionally, or a mother accidentally causing pain to her unborn child, would also be creating bad karma. Moreover, using one event to explain another similar event, like someone putting their hand into the fire and someone committing an evil act, is an argument that cannot stand. For example, according to this logic, if Mr. A orders Mr. B to commit a murder, it is Mr. B who is guilty of the crime, while Mr. A is not, since only Mr. B put his hand into the fire. Furthermore, according to this reasoning, an unintentional evil act could be more harmful than an intentional one. In other words, intentionally doing evil is less harmful than unintentionally, because in the example of putting one's hand into the fire, knowing that fire burns, the intentional person would be more cautious and thus less burned. The unintentional person, without prior intention, would not have time to prevent it and thus be more burned. The mind's role in karma. In the law of karma, the mind is the most important factor. All deeds, words, and thoughts are influenced by the mind. When the mind is not disciplined, naturally one cannot control their deeds, words, and thoughts. Disciplining the mind means controlling body, speech, and mind. The Dhammapada says, "The mind precedes all actions. The mind is the master. The mind creates everything. If one speaks or acts with an evil mind, suffering follows as the wheel follows the ox's hoof." One might wonder how an invisible thing like the mind can cause disturbances in the material world. In fact, it is not difficult to understand. The most powerful machines capable of transforming the modern world are products of the rich mind. The invisible mind creates all the retributive actions of karma. Karma is not necessarily only past actions, but encompasses both past and present. Thus, in one sense, how we are in the present depends on how we acted in the past, and how we will act in the future depends on our actions in the present. In another sense, we must also add that how we are in the present is not entirely because of our past, and how we will be in the future does not entirely depend on how we are in the present. The present is certainly the child of the past and the mother of the future. But in the immensely complex retributive system of karma, we cannot look at the present to definitively assert the past and future. For example, today's thief and murderer could become a saint tomorrow. A virtuous person today could become corrupt tomorrow. Practical teachings of karma. A mother's advice to her child: if you are good, you will be loved and be happy. If you are not good, you will not be loved and will be sad, is the teaching of karma. Like attracts like. Good brings about good, and bad brings about bad. This is the law of cause and effect. In summary, karma is the law of cause and effect in the moral realm, or as Westerners often say, the influence of actions. Now next, karma and its results, kamma and vipaka. Karma refers to intentional action, while vipaka is the consequence or result of that action. Every intentional action is accompanied by a result, much like a shadow follows its object. Karma can be seen as a seed, and its result as the fruit. The various aspects of our lives, such as health, prosperity, wealth, sickness, and misfortune, are all results of our past actions. The nature of karma and vipaka mental basis. Karma and its results are fundamentally based on the mind. Actions, karma, and their consequences, vipaka, are created by the mind. Thus, the nature of the action determines the nature of the result, whether pleasant or unpleasant. Types of consciousness. Karma includes various states of mind. 12 types of unwholesome consciousness in the sensuous realm, kamavakara. 8 types of wholesome consciousness in the sensuous realm. 5 types of wholesome consciousness in the form realm, rupavakara. 4 types of wholesome consciousness in the formless realm, arupavakara. These 29 states of mind are considered karma because they have the inherent potential to produce results. Supramundane states. The 8 supramundane states of mind, lokutara citta, are not considered karma as they aim to eliminate karma. The primary factor in these states is wisdom, panna, not intention, cetana. Resultant states, joy, sorrow, happiness, or suffering, are the inevitable outcomes of wholesome or unwholesome consciousness. The 5 resultant states in the form realm and the 4 resultant states in the formless realm are natural outcomes of karma. Further, the mechanism of karma, sowing and reaping. Just as sowing a seed will eventually lead to reaping a fruit, karma inevitably leads to vipaka. This process can occur in the present life or future lives. Whatever seed is sown, that is the fruit one shall reap. Latent potential. The potential to bear fruit is inherent in karma. In actions performed through body, speech, or mind, there exists a latent power to produce results, akin to a seed's potential to grow into a tree and bear fruit. Karma and free will, modifying. Karma. While karma is a powerful force, it is not absolute. Humans have the ability to create new actions and reactions to mitigate the effects of past karma. Thus, we are not entirely bound by our past actions and can alter our future through our present actions. The origins of karma: ignorance, avijja. Ignorance of the true nature of phenomena is the main cause of karma. This lack of understanding leads to actions that create karma. Craving, tanha. Craving, which often accompanies ignorance, also conditions the arising of karma. Together, ignorance and craving are the roots of all evil actions. The Buddhist perspective. No eternal soul. Buddhism does not believe in an eternal soul created arbitrarily. Instead, it views beings as a combination of constantly changing mental and physical elements. No supernatural judgment. Karma is a natural law, not governed by any omnipotent deity or supernatural force. The consequences of actions are not rewards or punishments, but natural results arising from those actions. Conventional and ultimate reality. Apparent versus ultimate reality. In conventional terms, we speak of people, objects, and actions. However, upon deeper analysis, these are merely combinations of elements and energies that are constantly changing. This ultimate reality reveals that there is no permanent self or entity apart from these processes. The path of purification. Venerable Buddhaghosa in the Visuddhimagga states, "There is no doer of karma. There is no experience of the result. There are only processes moving on." This highlights the Buddhist understanding that actions and their results are part of an ongoing process without a permanent actor or experiencer. By understanding the intricate relationship between karma and vipaka, one can appreciate the profound implications of intentional actions and the potential for spiritual growth and transformation in Buddhism. Now next, who creates karma and who reaps the results? Creation of karma. In Buddhism, karma is created by intention, cetana, the will or motivation behind actions performed through body, speech, and mind. Intention is the driving force that initiates actions, thereby generating karma. It is important to understand that there is no permanent self or being who creates karma. Rather, it is these mental factors that drive the process. Experiencing the results of karma. The results of karma are experienced as feelings, vedana. It is through feelings that one experiences the consequences of past actions, whether they are pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. Just as the intention is the creator of karma, the feeling is the experiencer of its results. The role of the five aggregates. The concept of self in Buddhism is understood as a combination of the five aggregates: form, feeling, perception, mental formations, and consciousness. Just as a tree, when its components come together, will bear fruit, these aggregates come together to form what we call a human or any other being. When the right conditions are present, the results of karma manifest, and we perceive these beings as experiencing fortune or misfortune. Where is karma stored? Karma is not stored in a specific place within the mind or body. Instead, it is seen as part of the continuous flow of mental energy, citta santati. Every experience, feeling, and influence is recorded in this ever-changing stream of consciousness, ready to manifest under favorable conditions. This concept is analogous to the growth of a mango tree, which, when the right conditions are met, bears fruit without having a specific place where the fruit is stored beforehand. The analogy of karma storage. When King Milinda asked Venerable Nagasena where karma is stored, Nagasena replied that karma is not stored in the mind or body, but manifests depending on the right conditions, similar to how a mango tree bears fruit in its season. This illustrates that karma is not a static entity stored somewhere, but a dynamic force that manifests when conditions are appropriate. Karma's role in individual lives. Karma is a crucial force that influences a person's character and life experiences. It explains the existence of extraordinary individuals, geniuses and prodigies, emphasizing the importance of understanding karma to foster peace and happiness in the world. Key points on karma: intention and feeling. Intention, cetana, creates karma. Feeling, vedana, experiences the results of karma. No permanent self. There is no enduring self that creates or experiences karma. Instead, it is the interplay of mental factors within the stream of consciousness. Dynamic nature of karma. Karma manifests when conditions are favorable, similar to how natural phenomena like fruit bearing occur. Continuous flow of mental energy. Karma depends on the ongoing flow of mental and physical phenomena, constantly evolving and influencing one's experiences. Moral implications. Understanding karma emphasizes personal responsibility and the potential to shape one's future through present actions. In summary, karma and its results are deeply embedded in the mental processes, driven by intention and experienced through feelings. This understanding rejects the notion of a permanent self and highlights the dynamic and ever-changing nature of existence. I hope you found this exploration of karma insightful and enriching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment with your thoughts or questions, and don't forget to share it with your friends and family. Your support helps us grow and continue bringing valuable content.